Check 1, 2. Can everybody hear me? Thank you for your patience. Was experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties and a little learning curves. Can anybody hear me in the building? Check 1, 2. We can't start until you can hear me. M. Nugent! How are you? Yes, indeed. Anyway, sounds like I can be heard. Can I be heard? So, family. I'm gonna share with you a few things before we get started. I'm gonna try to get straight into it today, cause sis is on a different time than us. So I'm gonna try my best to get through it. Who's in the building today? What we got? Hold on. Let me see before I get started. You know what I mean? See before I get started. How y'all doing? See who in the building over here. You know what I mean? Everybody good? Okay. All right, y'all ready for this one, family? Now, you know, I give the best interviews. I think I give the best interviews, family. I don't care what nobody say. Hands down, call me Tahaka Winfrey. You know what I'm talking about? Call me Tahaka Winfrey. Yeah, I get the best interviews, man. This demonstration, y'all playing games. You know what I mean? That's right. That's one thing. See, many people, they always like the research. But I think one of my other good assets is being able to, you know what I mean, put that information out there and interview people in a good way. I think that's a good thing, too. You know what I mean? I think that's a good thing, too. So with that being said, I want to say, family, we about to get busy. I don't know about you, but we about to get busy. We about to take a deep dive. Where my brother Crypto at, man? Crypto! We about to take a deep dive. You know what I mean? Let me see. We about to take a deep dive. That's right. All right. All right, Sam. I'm going to cue my music up. Now, we see, man, we got sis up in here. Sis in the building. We're going to see what's going on. Hear me? Y'all can hear me? I'm good. We got sis in the building. We about to get busy in a few seconds. Is I got an echo? Do everything sound good? I got to have this. I did an interview last week, and man, some of the controls was a little bit off. Man, I was kind of mad about that. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I was mad about that. I mean, I was truly mad about that. So, I want everybody. I sent you an email. Did you get it? Yes, I got it. I'm a Tula. Don't worry about it. When you got your ticket, sis, there was a 48-hour to watch. In fact, it's the 48 hours start from the time that it starts. Family, I want to show you something that I'm putting together for tomorrow. Can y'all bear with me? So, I know Sister Almatula, she got her ticket to see what's been going on as it relates to the show about what's been happening. Family, I'm going to give you some insight tonight. When I talk about what's up, Brother Dennis, Dr. Winkler, Brother Asar, the big doc is in the building. He's coming back for a new interview soon. I just got it, man. My schedule be messed up. So, family, if you are not familiar, I will be covering what has happened since I filed the case of slander on Tariq Nasheed. Press 7 if you can hear me good, because I want to show a little something that I'll be explaining on Thursday about some of the things that has been happening. Number one, I showed a video before with the black tinted windows coming past the temple at that time. You know what I mean? I have tons of pictures I'll be showing where here's one here I'll be showing where, these tinted car windows will park in front of my house and then, try to ease by. Here's one here. I have tons of them. I'll be showing some of that. One of the things that has happened, let me get the ticket so I can drop in. So if anybody's interested into supporting, to understanding exactly all that has happened, because somebody said, "Oh, he's giving information that's public information." Family, I do not. I emphatically do not play games as it relates to. Let me get it real quick. I do not play games as it relates to putting out information, and I do my best to make sure that I get cutting edge information. I'm not going to give you something that everybody else has, that anybody can get anywhere. Of course, I might interpret it a lot, and a lot of what I have, I will be interpreting to give you understanding as to what's going on. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be really delivering a powerful message. Let me show you something, family. So here's the link if anybody wants to support the fundraiser, make a donation, pay-per-view. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be covering everything that happened to me or that has happened since I've been covering this case. You know what I mean? One of them, I lost a dog. I hope you can't see that too clear. I lost a dog. Somebody poisoned my dog. I'll be talking about that. And and quite a few other things. So at the end of the day, since I've been covering this, I've really been up against a whole bunch of stuff. And that's what I'm talking about. When I show you what I've been up against, you know what I mean? I keep a lot of things quiet, but I'll show you, and more than that. But ever since I've been covering this, I've taken a few hits, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, because at the end of the day, Allah is leading on and victory is sure. So at the end of the day, you roll with the energy of the universal creator, and you keep it pushing. But with that being said, fam, we're about to get started in a minute. Give everybody a chance to get their seat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to just play my song because I just seen Lil Sultan, my dog. And I really didn't want to bring him out, but I just want people to know that it's real. That's right. It's real, family. I hope I see you in the building come Thursday. I see. Pootie Tay. I'm looking forward to y'all Thursday. Hey, family, we got Sister Jamillah in the building.
Yeah, we can be scholarly, or we can get gutter. We are the children of one father, and the breast of one mother has nursed us. Yeah, Islam. I'm trying to be your friend, man. I'm trying to be your friend, bro. Help me out. Meet me halfway. Come on. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Now let me be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like like me, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. You let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom. Till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice. That's the focus of the message. Sometimes Asiatics make me wanna forget the lessons. I be all up in my passion from all the Moorish passion. All things considered, I start laughing. A grown man with a ponytail, another calling us Neanderthal, and he all pale. I mean, for real, this is what it come to, my brother. We got nothing better to do than talk down to each other. Yeah, we can be scholarly or we can get gutter. We are the children of our father, and the breast of our mother has nursed us all. And first of all, we beefing while the peen trying to murk us all. You need to chill, my brother. Tell the elder the same, cause on the real, my man, I'm really about them things. I can take the feds off and get back in the low and return to the state where they used to call me dope. But no, I'm rolling with the prophet of Allah. I want love, not war. Standing on that floor, and I'm holding the square. The compass and the axe that might be too deep. Yo, let's not get off track. See, our prophet was an adept. Do you know what that is? An Egyptian adept is a brother who lived by the universal science developed in the Nile. We call it Islamism, but it's the same, my child. Sit at the foot of a master. I train you up, but I might have to bang you up. I still love you, and those that's talking that this ain't Islam. Everything the prophet brought is in the Quran. All the other stuff, prostrate and cover up, is just the start. The nearest place to me, the law is the heart. You can dress like Imhotep, but you can dress like a herb. Why the Moorish American Muslim unifies the word. You can say what you want about Dr. York, but he gave you different variations of the same thought. You don't appreciate that. You won't appreciate me. Appreciate the holy and divine Drew Ali. People refuse to admit it. He the first that ever did it. Europeans hope that the Moors would
Pootie-tang!
here, strong, alive and well, resurrected from hell with a story to tell. So pay attention and listen.
My bad.
And consider the facts. You
I
know
had
it's
to,
humanly impossible for you to be black. I guess a
I had to take a break.
is yellow, a Mexican is brown. Just think for a second how ridiculous it sounds. We can turn it around, but we must unite. It's okay to disagree, but we don't have to fight. Cause if we have to fight, you know how we get. I'm still learning to love. No, I'm not there yet. So work with me, fam, and I'ma work with you. And let's all work together and do what we gotta do. Cause
We got Sis in the building. Here she come. Here she come.
29, when the prophet left the flesh, we got an Asiatic president. Men marry men.
Sis is in the building.
Club and don't see his own sin.
She don't even know she in the building.
Move straight to Hollywood, living it up, and y'all
She don't even know she in the building.
cheesing and grinning, but it was your bread to help him set it off.
All right.
Be careful with
Now, I got a lot of things going on in these controls right now.
Unfortunately, some people get paid to misguide you. Oh yeah, I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never, and you would never. You ain't never, ever, ever. You ain't never met a more like this, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace
All right.
and love. So let me be your friend. Peace and love. Oh yeah, you ain't never met a more like this. And
Check
you ain't
1,
never,
2. You
ever,
ready,
ever
sis?
gonna meet one again.
Yes,
Let
I
me be your
am.
All right, family. I was getting a few things adjusted.
Peace and love.
Oh,
I wanna
okay.
be your friend.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Let me be your friend.
Let me bring you in the
We
meeting.
ain't trying to be enemies. I wanna be your. You let me be your. I wanna be your.
There she
friend.
go, family.
Hey.
She in the building. Are y'all ready? All right. So, family, welcome to another edition of More Shrell TV. I am your host, Brother Tahaka Bey. And we got our sister in the building, Sister Jamillah. You can't see me, but you can hear me. I don't know if you're watching from another device, but the way that I got you brought in, I had to do it this way just so hopefully we can have a smooth stream. We got to manipulate the technology because I'm gonna tell you, the block is hot. The block is hot. But let me hear you say something, sis, and make sure everybody can hear you. Family, press the 7 if you can hear Sister Jamillah. Say something, sis.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Oh, you sound good and clear on this side. I think they can hear you on that side. With that being said, sis, you sound real clear now than last time.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be good this time. With that being said, hey sis, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Now you told us earlier early on the other day last week when we did the interview
Right.
about you being a member of the Nation of Islam. Let's talk
Mhm.
about the early days because this is about sisters in the Nation of Islam, and I'm also going to do this, and I hope NOI people don't get all upset. I'm gonna do this about Moorish American sisters too. You know what I'm saying? I bring my wife on. She got a story. She got a story.
Everybody got a story.
Hey, let me tell you something. One thing, but I'll let you tell your story, and then I will tell you something about how my wife get down about this consciousness thing. But anyway, let me give people a backdrop after you tell a little bit about yourself and how you entered into the Nation of Islam. Go ahead, sis. The floor is yours.
I think I started more or less when I came to Philadelphia around 95, 96. So I was basically introduced to the MGT and GCC class first. So prior to me getting registered,
Let me ask you this. How did you get introduced to the Nation of Islam? Did you see sisters? Was it a brother? What was it? Paint us a picture.
So I worked with a brother that was already registered.
Oh, I got you.
And he was, I guess we was probably having like conversation because I previously went to an event that Farrakhan had did on July 4th. And so when I seen him, you know, we were talking and then he was like, oh, he's a member of the Nation of Islam. And I said, oh, how can I join the class? And then we basically went from there. And he invited me out to the sisters class. And, you know, my first time going, I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
So when the first time you went, what was the attracting factor? Because some people would be attracted to the Nation of Islam. They see the discipline, they see the unity, they see the economics. Or what was the attracting factor for you?
Well, for me, I was exposed to it earlier. So I kind of had like a background of what the nation was about as far as I was like into like the socialist movement. I've slowly migrated into like the whole Black Power thing, you know, the thing in the 90s through hip hop. Mm-hmm. Very similar to how most people came into what they call the conscious community. And so when he was telling me about, oh, you can join the class, what attracted me was absolutely those uniforms.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I love those uniforms.
Was it the which uniform was it? Was it the one with the like the police type hat? Let me see if I can pull it up.
The Vanguard.
Yeah.
No, it was actually a uniform called the Princess.
Is that with the kind of similar like the hijab type uniform?
The Princess.
Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
It's the white uniform that you mostly see the sisters in when you see pictures on the internet. It's white and it cuts in and then it's like an A line. And then there's a cape with it. So you'll see that on the internet more.
So the one that I seen, I'm gonna show you in a minute. The one that I think I know what you're talking about. Hold on. Let me see. I like to try to paint a picture. I think y'all know by now how I like to do this. I like to paint a picture. I don't know if
it's the more angelic like uniform.
So this is one here. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see it from my end.
Let's see if I can share it with you. I'm going to share it with you on your end. You know what I mean? So you can see it. But this is one right here that I'm showing. Let me see right here. We're going to make this work today. Yeah, I bring you right on the screen right there. You see that screen right there?
I do.
Yeah. Is that
No, that's the Vanguard uniform. Mm-mm.
Oh, that's the Vanguard uniform. Okay, I got you. Let me see.
But it's the uniform where you see the sisters, they're kind of lined up in a V. It was the sisters, from the first. That was the Princess with the cape.
I think I know what you're talking about. So you say that was it the unity and the uniform, the uniformity? Because the uniformity is serious. I got to say that myself.
Yeah. Yeah, the uniform was a definite attraction because I had history with my parents. So it just reminded me so much of my own history. It made me want to be a part of it.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay, so when you became a part of it, I think I got the uniform I'm talking about, but you want to delay on that end. So when you became a part of it, for you, what was the first step? Was the first step is just attending classes, or were you always hit knee deep in? You ready to rock?
Yeah, so I'm ready to rock, but of course I had to go through a process. So I was never familiar with the process because my exposure was just part of my culture growing up in Boston. So I never really experienced like going to the mosque and that way.
Right.
So I ended up having to go to a class which was called orientation, and it's just a brief introduction to what it is. Specifically, if you go to an orientation during MGT class, you're going to be exposed to more of the sisters' role in the nation. So I was fortunate to go to that class early so I can kind of learn a little bit more about the sister side. Because growing up, we just knew about the FOI. We didn't know too much about the MGT.
Oh, all right. I got you. I got you. All right. So,
Mhm.
how long now? Now, you said you joined. I was just trying to find some pictures. I think I did find the picture and I put it up on the screen. But so how long were you now? Now, the other night you said that you're still a registered member, but you're just inactive. How long
Right.
were you a member of the NOI?
Well,
I mean, an
technically,
active member, active member. You know what I
uh,
mean? You say you're inactive
okay,
right now.
active.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have
Because
all together.
I wanted. I'm sorry, sis. I want to just make it clear because I know brothers and sisters in the NOI are going to be watching this, and I don't want people to think that that this is. In fact, I don't really. It doesn't matter what people think, but I just want to have journalistic integrity, just to say that listen, this is an active sister that is still registered, and for the most part, you don't have an issue with the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachers of Master Farad Muhammad. However,
Right.
you're not active in what is known today as the Nation of Islam. Is that a fair
Right.
statement?
Yes, that's fair.
Absolutely. So go ahead, sis.
So you go through a 4-week class, I believe, just as an introduction. Um, you kind of get immersed in the culture. Um, you're being taught, certain things about etiquette. Now that I know it was from the Book of Femininity that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote for the MGT, or just sisters, period, black women. Um, so he actually published that book, which is no longer in print, is actually being used as part of the orientation guide, at least from when I first came in. I don't know about now.
Okay.
So I later found out it was an actual book, but it wasn't. It's no longer in print. It was part of our MGT manual as an introduction. So I always like to find the source of where something was, and so then as I remembered, like, oh, this was part of our orientation. It was actually a published book that is no longer in print.
And why would that be significant? Do you think that it's significant because things that were supposed to be just readily available to members is no longer readily available? Is
I mean, I just want to say it's just an ongoing, and this is just my personal opinion, how I see it now. I didn't see it then, but how I see it now, I think it was just still part of getting rid of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name.
so? Oh, okay. So we might as well take a deep dive right now. Do you? So are
I
you?
got a train going by. It's
That
gonna be a little loud. Yeah.
that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Cause you just gave us a train. You just hit it with a train because you led us towards the area that I was going to wait to touch on, and that area is why you are inactive at this time, and have you been? Let's go with that. Why are you inactive at this time?
Well, it's a lot of different reasons. The initial reason was not necessarily my doing. It was a misunderstanding or a disagreement that I had locally, particularly with my captain at the time.
Right.
And it just kind of led up to a series of, I'm kind of traveling, I'm doing my thing. So it wasn't like an official, I'm no longer going to be here. It was just more of a going away for me.
Wow. Okay. So it started off an in-house thing, but when you stepped away, now your story's starting to sound similar to mine within the more South tip of America, but I'm gonna let you flow. So when you stepped away a little bit, and one thing that you said the last time you was on is, I do my own research. Did you begin to do your research and say, hold up, what's really going on? Is because that's what it seemed like it's going to.
Yeah, so basically, I was always curious into the actual meaning of the teachings, because I started doing some other type of study, and my reference is always the teachings. That's always my reference. And I don't think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a liar. I don't think he was a crook. I don't think he was a con. I don't.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I say that because I've had experiences that aligned with his teaching. And so for me, it's true, it's right and exact for me. So, as I started living my life and things of that nature, I started being reminded of things from his teaching. Like, oh, that's what he was saying. I would get those aha moments.
Right.
And I was wondering, why am I getting these aha moments? I'm no longer, active. I'm traveling, I'm doing different things. And so that led me to start doing more research on the people in the teachings, mainly the leadership. That's where I always start. Because I used to do a lot of community.
All right, I think we might be back. Check 1, 2. Can y'all hear me now? Check 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Check. All right. Let me see if I can bring Sis back in. I don't know if I can bring Sis back in. Let me see. That was a bunch of work. All right, now I got to try to bring Sis back in. Ah, man. There she go. All right, Sis, you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
All right, then put on my headphones. Then we go. That was a crazy one, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let me see if I can bring you back into the show. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Somebody said they came and got Sis. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, back in the day, let me tell you something. Back in the day.
That part. Mm-hmm.
Shoot, back still be talking this stuff. All right. Let me see. Window capture. Let me see. There she go. All right. Now, let's bring her in. Let's crop it. Let's crop it. Bring her up on there. All right. Here we go. So family, there y'all see what it look like in post-production. There's a lot of work that goes in this stuff. Y'all don't be knowing. All right, so sis, where were we? My apologies. Let me first say this is what happened. I don't like people to be conspiracy theorists and theories and living in fear or whatever the case may be. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at the camera around my house and I see a car and like two people get out the car and start talking in the rain. I'm like, but it's across the street. I'm like, this is pretty strange. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is pretty strange. You know what I mean?
That's what happens.
Yeah, and it's pouring down rain in here. It's been raining all day. And so while the music was playing, I just panned the camera around just to look around a little bit. But I mean, they ultimately pulled off whatever. I just thought it was strange. And then soon after that, the whole internet just dropped. Everything.
Wow.
It wasn't just you dropped. Everything dropped. Wi-Fi signal.
No, I was still in the room. I was still there.
Okay. So, but you wasn't live on anything because all the internet was gone. But
right, no,
but
I was just still in the room.
Yeah, so that's still in the cloud. But where were you? Where did we drop off at? What we do? Where we drop off?
When I first came into the class.
Okay. And when you let me just start organically where I want to pick up. No. What I was asking you was you said that you believe 1,000% of the teaching of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you would find that there would be lessons that the public should be privy to, or members should be privy to, that was no longer there. And then you said that it started coming to you, like the aha moments, like aha, right there. So let's start back right there. These aha moments, give us an example of maybe a few aha moments. Was the aha moments about the lessons, or was the aha moments, was it like aha or aha?
I'm gonna say the aha moments were sort of like if you see something in the news, you can recall a conversation or something you may have read that matched what was going on. So similar to those kind of things. So not so much special events, more so just, natural things or occurrences happening in the world where it's like, okay, I think I know about this. And, I knew it from, what the lessons were.
Oh, I got you. And so when you kind of moved away from your mosque, what was that like? I mean, I don't want to go to great details because I think mosque business should be mosque business. But what was that like when you moved away from your mosque? You had to step away from your mosque. What was that like? And like I said, I don't want the great detail because I always think, some stuff, leave that alone. But what was that like? Was you like, man, down? I don't have no choice. Well, you know what? I see things a little bit different. What was that choice like? Or was it just because you and your captain did not get along and you was like, man, okay, whatever?
Yeah, it just kind of was just a little bit of this, a little bit of that kind of stuff. It was just kind of like everything, like in hindsight, everything that happened in that misunderstanding, it was too much water under the bridge. So, no one was reaching out to me to, mend whatever we needed to mend. So I just continued to do, to live my life. So it wasn't like a like a finale. It wasn't a finale. It was just, I didn't want to do something they wanted me to do. And I wasn't bending. They weren't going to call me and keep telling me. And then it just kind of ended up, like that.
I got you. Now, which part of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that you feel wasn't being fulfilled after you took a step back and was able to see things from a bird's eye view?
Right. So once I started to pretty much research for myself what the teachings was really about, I became a flat earther. I remember you talked about, I think you talked about flat earthers
Yeah,
on one of your other
absolutely.
videos. So, anyways, I started having conversations about the earth being flat. I don't know if it was a trend or I don't know what it was.
Yeah, that was a
But
popular conversation at one time.
right. And it's funny how things happen because, you have a lot of these stories where it's like, you know, it just doesn't seem like it happened, but it really did. And so, I guess like everyone else, I got caught up in that flat earth conversation. And from what I know, as far as the teachings are concerned, it was neither here nor there. We didn't really focus too much on that conversation in the nation when I was in the nation. But as I'm reading different sources and talking to different people, a light bulb's going off. Like, let me look more into this, myself. So, long story short, remember earlier I told you my reference was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. My first indication was the earth can't be flat because we weren't taught that. Okay. I
Oh,
literally focused.
somebody said that to you. The earth can't be flat. I like that. That's a bar. The earth can't
No,
be flat.
I said it for me.
Oh, okay. That's a bar. Whoever said it. Yeah, well, go
Yeah,
ahead.
because right. I said to myself, hold on. I didn't necessarily like go into delve into like this whole study and doing like experiments that, people do. My frame of reference was the teachings. So in my mind, it was we weren't taught that because in my mind at the time, I was saying we were taught everything. So how could that be the truth? So that was always my argument with that.
Right.
Until I became a little bit more differently and seeing things a little bit more differently. I'm no longer like that anymore.
So you're a flat earther today?
I still agree with
Hey, man. They
more
might
of what you explained as far as the earth being like
being
a
a
plane.
plane. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And the
Definitely.
earth is flat. Considering the original construct of the earth, it sits on a
Right.
globe, but it's flat.
Yes.
That kills the flat earthers' argument that there is no. It sits on because and we know that Master Farrakhan Muhammad gave the circumference of the earth. Circumference it's represents the circle, but it's actually the globe that's the circle, and the plane is the earth that's flat.
Right.
And when you put
'Cause
all the continents together,
we're
it's all flat.
right.
It's all flat.
Inside, right.
Yeah.
It's, the firmament and then the
Yeah.
underworld or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the center, it's kind of like when you cut an egg. So you see that flat surface. That's where I'm at with it.
Right. So I mean, and all the continents being connected makes it a plane. On the plane of Earth, it makes it a plane. Plane just means flat. You know what I'm saying? So when all the continents are united with what they talks about the all the continents are one, connected and together. Like I forget what the Europeans call it, but that's a whole nother story. But did you have conflict? Did you have conflict with your group, with your boss about that conversation? They wasn't going for that. Or the understanding probably wasn't as developed maybe as it is today, and it was just like, nah. Is that what that is?
Well, it definitely was in the beginning stages because at the time, I don't think I knew about like the Flat Earth Society and all the different, facets. But there was a brother that he actually created a group on Facebook. I think this is when we were using social media a little bit more. He created a group about the people in the teachings believe in a flat earth. Like that's what was the group about. And the group, you could basically prove it. It's in the Quran. We did a lot of research or whatever, and we would be in the group and we would be just having this conversation. And so naturally, because at the time I was no longer active, I wasn't really catching any flack for it. But those in the group or those that were probably being, having a comment in the group agreeing, like, yeah, the earth is flat, they were probably catching some flack at their local mosque, about that ideology. Although in the teaching, the messenger, he doesn't even say whether it's flat or a circle. He describes the universe as an egg shape, and that's a whole nother thing. But to be honest, that is the globe is not what's being taught in the nation. It's just not.
Well, now
It might be in the lessons because in the actual facts, that information came beforehand, but that's not a focus that we're on. Or at the time, we weren't studying anything about that at the time.
so when me and you begin to communicate with one another, it was a time when Rizza Islam, Farrakhan put out the tape about Rizza. And he said something about women. And I'm going to play that in a minute. You might not be able to hear it, but I'm going to play it in a minute. But I also remember, so I want to get to the part where we talk about the sisters in the Nation of Islam. Is there, and now this is going to be very sensitive for brothers in the Nation of Islam and sisters in the Nation of Islam. If y'all watching Moorish World TV, if you get sensitive, I just ask you to turn it off because I'm going to ask some real questions, and I'm open to be asked real questions about anything that I'm involved in. And in fact, in any sister that's within our temple, if they're willing to be asked any questions about their experience in the Moorish Science Temple of America, I would applaud them in doing that. But with that being said, do you feel like there's an imbalance within the Nation of Islam as it relates to the roles of the dominant role and the less dominant role as it relates to men and women? Is the woman appear to be less dominant? Is the man is the dominant force? What is the gender equality in the Nation of Islam, if I can say it the best way I'm able to say it? What does that feel like? What does that look like?
Okay, so of course we're going from my own personal experience.
Let me underscore. I'm sorry, I know cut people off a lot. I want to say this is Sister Jamillah's experience. This is not a wide brush experience. The wide brush experience means that it's straight across the board. No, this is Sister Jamillah's experience. Thank you for reminding me of that, sis. Go ahead, sis.
Okay. So when I first came in, the captain that I came in under, in my eyes, she was a very, strong woman. She was married, and she really had things in order. So I had a really good experience as far as the sisterhood is concerned when I first came in. I wasn't married at the time, but I was in a relationship. Subsequently, he ended up getting registered, and we were this, NOI family, right? So it was easy, being married, no problem. But once the separation came, once the divorce came, that's when the mask started to come off. And in my mind, it was, where's my support system as a sister? Because it wasn't so much the brothers for me, because it's really separate. You know how people say, oh, he kept the women and the men separate. It is extremely separate. Very seldom do we come into contact with the brothers, at least, interaction. Of course, we were around the brothers, but it was more about the sisterhood and the things that I was seeing in the sisterhood. And it was pretty upsetting because, when a woman goes through a trial, you feel like everyone can relate because women go through women things. And unfortunately, it wasn't like that. It was like, and I'm gonna coin this to Hawk. I don't know if you support this, sister, but
You're
what I will say is Cynthia G gave it a name, and she called it Black Male Worshippers.
now, let me say something. Let me say something. I don't. If someone says something that is true, regardless of where it come from, if it's true, it's true. So she coined.
Yes.
So she coined the phrase "black male worshippers." What does that encompass? What is that?
Okay, so the way I see it, it's those women like a mammy that protect black men when they fall short, as opposed to correcting them. It's more of an
Okay.
enabling behavior.
Got you. Got you.
And I didn't know it was like that back then, but I questioned the non-support, and I'm trying to understand why isn't there more support. So fast forward, as I have more freedom to listen to other things, at least in my mind, Cynthia G coined black male worshippers, and that's exactly what that experience was: being surrounded by a bunch of black male worshippers, not knowing that I was one too. Isn't
Hmm.
that deep? That's deep,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Do you feel like the black male worshippers, as the phrase is coined, is really predicated upon enabling and protecting uh, 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 men? Is that is
Well,
that is that is
well,
that is
more
that
so it's black male behavior.
yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Indiscretion behavior, indiscretions.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
yes.
So that's basically what it outlines. Woo.
Yeah, it's protecting and not holding them accountable for their shortcomings.
And
And that's what was going on.
and you feel as though that's what's going on in the NOI.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there is a teaching that I've heard Dr. Wesley put out one day, and then I went on to hear another brother in the nation repeat it. But Dr. Wesley says the teaching is that man is the first Allah. The first time I ever heard this teaching, that man is the first Allah and woman is the second Allah, and so woman is to submit to the first Allah. And
Right.
oh man, I wish I could pull that up today. I'm gonna look at it on my phone. But have you ever heard something like that?
Of course. And it doesn't so much come from Islam. That's more of a Adam and Eve story about the woman coming from his rib or something like that. That's more of an Adam and Eve story than it is Islamic
If you
story.
will, can I expound upon that?
Sure.
In the Moore Science Temple of America, we have the concept that man and woman is equal in all phases of the relationship. Because at the
Right.
beginning, if woman came out of man, then woman was in man, and so they're equal, a part of one being. So to
Right.
pull woman out of man, that doesn't make man superior or less than, or make woman superior or less than, because it's the same man. It's a one man that's connected to the man, equal parts, just split apart. That's it. So if woman comes out of a man, it's the same being, just split apart. And so when two souls come together and become one, they're just meeting their other part, those equal parts. So I don't
Right.
understand. In the Moore Science Temple of America, that's what we teach. So I don't understand
Right.
how the first of law has more superiority over the second of law, that if it came out of the one, it's the same thing.
Right.
So that's what kind
Well,
of
once
boggled my mind when I first heard that.
Well, you have to remember too, people have different understandings, and it is one of those patriarch. I mean, the Nation of Islam in itself came out of a patriarchal movement. Okay, so that men were the ones that were, setting up these organizations and heading these organizations. So you never really had women representation outward.
I
The
got you.
women were always in the back. So in history, you as much as you dig, you're gonna find a woman somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Okay, and let's not talk
absolutely.
about Mother Clara Muhammad. Like everybody know that she was a soldier, that she was a forerunner. That if it wasn't for her, then the nation as we knew it under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad would have been gone if it wasn't for her to keep it floating. So historically, Black women have been the forerunners historically. And, you know, I can give you so many examples. And so you have something like the Nation of Islam, where under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had a banner during Savior's Day or different meetings that said, a nation can rise no higher than its woman.
Right.
Okay.
I remember that.
And it's constant, it's constant, it's constant. So you're always hearing about this. So when I come into what is now what I now know as Farrakhan's Nation of Islam, I wasn't feeling that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. I mean, sure, we had, you know, sister ministers, you know, Dr. Ava, you know, man, Allah be pleased with her. We had, you know, Mother Tanetta, same thing. Of course we did, but it was more like a controlled factor. It wasn't like it was freedom. It's when it said that sister can speak, or it's when it said, and I know I was a ministry class. So, you know, I was in a couple of different ministries, to be honest. And every time this is what's happening. Like, what is this sexism thing about? And I couldn't understand where it was coming from, because to my knowledge, that's not what it is. It's about freedom, justice, and equality. And that's across the board, regardless.
Right.
So even that very teaching of the woman is the second self is a contradiction of freedom, justice, and equality. I mean, it gotta make sense.
And let me say, I'm not here to dispute anybody's ideology, but I just wanted to compare it to what I teach as a Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America, because we have taken that patriotic, what we call it, what you just called it. I just butchered the word. The patrial ideal.
Oh, patriarchy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Patriarch, the ideal. We taking that patriarch ideal, and that archetype comes from the European. That's not our ancestors' thing. That's not our thing. And until we are ready to face that, you know, we still going to stay in the bind too, because we can be used against each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
We definitely can be using.
Well, and that's obviously what's been happening. So, you know, it's been this dark cloud going on specifically in what you call the Black conscious community for a very long time. So, you know, the Nation of Islam is just one organization, unfortunately, that has been infected with the same cancer that's plaguing, you know, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally like a whole agenda out there to destroy feminine energy that's sick, because everyone has to come through a woman in order to get here. So why establish an agenda to destroy her and give men vaginas? That's silly. It doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
And so you find that this same thing is happening in different areas. And depending on who you are, it doesn't sit well with you when you see it. And I'm one of those persons that it doesn't sit well with.
I got you. So I want to play this video real quick, and I'm gonna play this video real quick, and I'm gonna let people hear it. Then I'm gonna let me see if I can share it with you. Let me see if I can share. I'm gonna try something, family. I'm trying something new over here. All right, I'm trying something new. Let me see if I can share it over here. All right, we're gonna try it. Let me see if I can share it over here. That'll be good. Let me see. I'm gonna try to share it. Let me see if I can do it. See if I can do it. Y'all may have heard it before, and you may not. Let me see if I can do it like this. All right.
In love with you.
Okay, matter of fact, I'll just do this. He said, and you know when you don't understand who a woman is and what a woman is, please, brothers, don't mess with them. Don't mess them over. He goes on to say that they are from God, but they can be from the devil if you don't treat them right. What do you say to that? He said they are from God, but you can be from the devil if you don't treat them right. This is what the statement is. I'm reading the recording. It has words with it.
I heard it, and again, it's just not our way. That's just not what we do. That's just not. I don't agree with that statement.
He said they're from the devil, and they can be from the devil. And he says, the sister is charging you. Let me screen share this so people can see it, because I'm already short. I'm reading it, you know what I mean? But it says, the sister is charging you, Brother Rizza, with taking it. I don't want to say the R word. That's a horrible charge, he says. But to my sister, then he goes on to say, but to my sister, you know yourself. You were engaged to that man, according to what I read. It goes on to say, and you allowed him to stay in your house and allowed him to lay down on your bed, and he laid down beside you. What the HELL is going on here? That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, and get angry with you because you act like the savage that just a quarter of an inch under your skin. See, you bring the N-word out of us and then act like you did nothing. That was the statement that is on that recording as it relates to the alleged charges of Rizza Islam and a sister, unknown sister, and this recording that is allegedly the Minister Farrakhan. Now, I don't know if you wrapped your mind around all of that, but if you did, give us some words to that as that relates to the journey that you have been on. Okay. That was kind of harsh.
Yeah. And again, I'm just really going to say I'm not surprised because I have seen it on a couple of occasions. I have seen him humiliate a sister in front of, a lot of us. I've seen it. So I'm not surprised that that's that kind of conversation, because it's really like a trick. Because to be honest, no one can necessarily say he was wrong, you see? But the trick is, it's not about her at this moment. It's about the brother. So stay there. Like, you can't say the brother's wrong and then flip it on the sister. Like, it's eloquent though, but it's a flip if you really paying attention, because now the conversation's not even about him no more, because it's ending. And most people only remember the end of something. They don't remember the beginning.
Right.
So you started, the conversation started, and I listened to the tape multiple times, but it started with doing the right thing. You chastising this brother. You saying you wish him well and that you rooting for him. But then it's the flip and sister. And I can say, okay, maybe you want it to be equal, like you're not just tripping on the brother. So you giving them equal responsibility. If we dealing with freedom and justice and equality, yeah, if that's what we dealing with. But obviously we not dealing with that, because it's a trick somewhere in there, because now psychologically he done put the frequency out for the sister, and now the sisters are leaving that meeting feeling bad about self. I'm telling you, it's a trick. I was there. I was literally there. I mean, the mind control is crazy when I explain this to you, because it's something in your mind that, yes, I need to take accountability for myself. No one can dispute that, but it just still don't feel pure. Because on the outward, you could say he is right. He right. What responsibility does she have? Whatever the case may be. But somewhere it just sounded like a trick to me. I wasn't feeling it. Because now it's the blame of her. She's not necessarily the victim anymore. And that's what you leave with. Because he almost praised Rizza.
And the whole thing about it alleges that she was actually violated. I mean, after a violation, like there's nothing to talk about what the sister did to quote unquote invite a violation. There's nothing that a sister can do to invite a violation. That doesn't. No. There's nothing a sister can do to invite a violation. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So if all of this is true, I'm just giving my opinion. There's nothing that a sister can do to invite a violation. That doesn't. No. You take
but that's my point. You can't say it's right or wrong necessarily because you got points on each end. But to look at it as a whole, the victim was basically being blamed for the victimization in essence. If you really looking, if you really listening, you gonna find it. But you gotta have a certain mind to do it because the technology is real. And I make reference to, the story, whether it's right, wrong, whatever. It doesn't matter for me. What I see in it is some wisdom.
Let me read this. She said, somebody in here, Levi said, if there's an invitation, where is the violation? The violation when a woman says that she doesn't want to go into the level of physical connecting on a physical level. That's the violation. What are you talking about? There's an invitation to your house, so now you must put out. Like, what are you talking about?
You can't make that speculation, but this is the sickness. I'm telling you, this is the sickness.
You better put out your baby in your house.
So many brothers defended that, like, oh wow. But so let's stop, because if we use that as an example, we're dealing with a certain mentality, like an illness. So imagine you got sisters that really think they're trying to live a better life, be a better woman, take care of their family, the whole nine, with one mentality, trying to, be Black power for Black people. And then you have a group, majority weighs out the minority. Obviously, I'm not saying everyone, it can't be. I don't know everyone, but I'm sure there's a majority because there's a pattern of behavior. Right. You have a group that's sick. And so you got the sisters are being told to be his peace, to be this and be his backbone, and you got to make it make sense. It don't make sense.
Levi said, okay, too far. I was just thinking that, basically. I've laid in bed with women and I didn't touch them. I'm with y'all with that. Absolutely. But you know what? This has been an argument back in the day that and this is when the campaign came upon the scene in the late 80s and the 90s. What was the campaign? No means no. Anybody remember that campaign? Because
I remember.
That
means no.
That was a campaign because men would be invited to women houses and hanging out or go back to a hotel, and they felt that was the green light to do whatever they wanted to, and after that the woman couldn't say no. But life doesn't work like that. You can't violate anybody. And I know Levi's on the same page as that. But the whole thing in a nutshell, that is a wild mentality right there. That that you are mine. Do you feel like in the NOI as well as other organizations that women are possessions as opposed to? Oh
yeah.
Good night. Get on down here, woman. You my possession. Let me call my wife. We joining the Nation of Islam. I'm tired of you arguing with me.
It's But it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
That's the really sad part. It's coming from the behavior is coming from an ignorant standpoint because of their misunderstanding of what the teaching is really about. It's literally not anything about that. And so to have a misunderstanding of a teaching and then to blame a behavior on the very teaching you have a misunderstanding of, that is an illness. That's an illness. You can't describe that any other way, because the bottom line is, does it even feel right to mistreat another human being? That doesn't feel right if you got a soul.
Right.
You know?
So Black
regardless of
Network
what
Black Network says no true FOI thinks like that. And I can say that I know some good brothers in the NOI. I know some very good brothers in the NOI. I'm talking about that will literally sit down their jacket so they can walk over puddles. You know what I mean? That's some strong brothers in the FOI.
I'm sure there are.
Yeah. But with every good, we also got the opposite of the good too, you know. And one thing that we know is that in a lot of organizations, even in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we see more men than we see women. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
We see more men than we see women, and then when the women come in, the men, it appears to be casting lots, if you will. You know what I mean? Not in our administration, thank God. In our administration, we have some stand-up people. We're a small administration, but we have stand-up brothers and sisters who are actually learning the actual lessons of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. But being around as long as I've been around, it's all sorts of crazy stuff that go on. All sorts of crazy stuff that go on. Now, when you were in the nation, do you think that this male dominance mentality, because you said the minister demonstrates that type of mentality, but do you think that it filtered all the way down? Like, I don't want to paint it with a wide brush from your vantage point, do you think it's filtered all the way down for the most part, and the good ones are few and in between?
Yeah, definitely. That's anywhere, everywhere, on all levels, different kind of men, women, what have you. But since we're talking about it, you have to remember there's still a group of men that feel like this one person saved their life, which means they're going to look up to them. They're going to demonstrate their behavior. They're going to do what they think this person is doing. And so if there's a mentality like that happening, yes, if they see it happening in their mind, this is the right way to behave. This is fine. In their mind, this is the way to behave. This is the way, that we're supposed to be. Not saying that, they shouldn't have their own mind, but I think my point is, when you look up to someone, when you feel like someone pulled you out the mud or saved your life, you're invested, you feel a kind of obligation, and then it gets really messy because there's nothing wrong with it, but everyone needs to be held accountable for what they do. So if there's something that happens that's not in line with what we're taught, the instructions, even one of our restrictive laws is to report weakness and slackness. That's actually an actual law, so for it to turn into some secrets and, the no snitch rule and all that, that's totally against what's in black and white. And I know personally, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying is I've been there. And so in this particular situation that we're referring to, we can say a lot of things, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, whatever the case may be. But the bottom line is, if that situation happened, the brother was wrong. That's just what that is. It doesn't matter. So even to address it publicly or amongst the believers or whatever, the topic is him, not her. She can be dealt with some other way. But to flip that and have that trick in there, it doesn't sit well, because now it's like, well, I thought you wasn't about that, but in a sense, you sound like you're defending the brother in a lot of ways.
Wow.
So if that's the mindset, think about how many sisters have been violated and have been silenced, not able to speak out, because that kind of situation comes up. Well, sister, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do that? Now all of a sudden she's being attacked. Now she's the victim. She's not the victim anymore. She's being attacked now. Well, sister, if you didn't invite the brother to your house and maybe it would have been this way. Sister, you got to teach your brother to be a better brother. Like, why is that responsibility on us? Why is that responsibility on us?
Let me ask you: have you ever been in a relationship with any brothers in the? Because you didn't mention that, so I thought I asked. And so you have firsthand experience with that.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something, Brother Tarka. I've been being in the nation for as long as I was. I mean, of course, I had my periods where I stepped out and then came back, but just in totality, you go through a lot when you really believe that we're supposed to resurrect the dead. Like, when you really believe this, you literally put yourself in a situation where you're always involved in something, because at the end of the day, there's this mission we must complete.
And
I'm laughing about it now.
What is that mission, though? Because I think I know what you're talking about, but what is that mission?
So ultimately, the mission is, to resurrect the dead. You'll hear a lot of, people in Farrakhan's NOI saying that, and I'm assuming that was something that was maybe said in the first or whatever. And this is all obviously like based on, the teachings in itself, what our duty is and things of that nature. And so, in every culture you have, different sayings and things of that nature. So, we would just shorten it up and say our mission is to resurrect the dead. And so when you really believe that, you position yourself so you can be part of that, that 144, the scramble. The scramble, the whole script, you really believe it because you really think you're being part of something big. And especially the way Farrakhan's NOI do it, like they do it big, like, I don't know if you went to the Million Man March, but that was huge. Like, oh my goodness, I'm living at a time where 1 million, black men came on Washington. And then you find out what that really was about, and all of it goes out the door. Like, never mind. Right?
Yeah, that to me, and that was a sad moment in history for me. That was a sad moment in history because it was, to me, it's only my opinion. To me, It was like, look at what I can do, and we won't do nothing. That's what it was. Look what how many people can be here, and after this we will do nothing. It was a great showcase where a very small minority walk away with the honor of being this great leader. But after the fact, it was about nothing. And that's sad. I mean, with the state of affairs that we are in, that game right there is total disrespect to our ancestors when we don't capitalize off of that type of energy coming together. Because many people came there in sincerity.
Oh yeah,
with no direction to put for where that energy is supposed to go.
Well, the funny thing is. And I'm gonna take it, back to, my situation.
Absolutely.
But the funny thing is, more than concentrating on the results of whatever your fruits were supposed to bear or whatever the case may be. The focus is how much money was raised or the actual number that came. You know what I'm saying? And so again, the diversion, not to focus on really what the issue is. And I experienced that, we were doing some, community work, coming out of the mosque, and it was shut down, and shut down for what? Because certain people were getting, acknowledgement for good work, and, just a lot of the jealousy and, I guess you can say envy as well, because, something was actually destroyed that was doing really well, but because, the person that had the power to do something decided that, oh, it's not working out because some money or something petty, it shut down, and now nothing's happening out of it, So it's the same type of thing. You're chasing a carrot. You think you're doing great work in the community with this banner on it, and then you find out that's not even what this was all about.
And you know what? And the sad thing about it is that I see this a lot. What I see is a lot of what we think is religious and social movement to advance people is really a popularity contest, a cash cow, and a confidence pride builder because some people will hustle attention just to feel good about themselves. Sometimes it ain't. You only can get but so much money. You know what I mean? So after the so much money, now it's the ego stroking. You know what I mean? I need my ego. I need my ego fix every now and then. I need my ego fix, and that's what I notice about a lot of these social movements, religious movements, that the leader and I'm not saying that's Farrakhan. I'm just saying that the leader in most of these groups that become successful, they're not leading the people towards the true liberation that the people need. Right. They're only leading them around a circle, as Moses had to do, just around the desert. And at the end of the day, they eat, they got the prestige, they got the honor, and the people goes nowhere. Because when we really look at it, what have we actually accomplished with any of these groups?
Right. And so now when, as we take it up there, you think about the women, and historically, women have been the forerunners, even though they weren't necessarily put out there, but we know that they were pretty much the machine making things happen, right? So now you look at this situation, and again, the motto is freedom, justice, and equality, which means you'll have the brother and the sister working side by side to do things together to make things happen. And you adopt those principles into your home, your lifestyle, what have you. But then when you don't even have that situation happening, in the so-called training ground, then it's kind of like, well, what is this all for at the end of the day? What does all this really mean? And so you get into ritualistic habits, and then you put on these lenses, and then you only see one way, and then you start as women, we start to worship the males because we're being taught by a male, obviously, right? And so we're going to start worshiping him. So any sister that may come against that, meaning holding the males or the men or whatever accountable, then that sister is going to be our enemy, because our job is to protect the males, hence the black male worship that Cynthia G coined. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So that's what's plaguing, in my opinion, the sisterhood, is the black male worship.
Do you think the NOI, and this is just a fly by night question. Do you think the NOI will thrive post Farrakhan, the minister?
I don't think it's meant to do anything but stay exactly what it is, which is Scientology.
No. What I'm saying is that the minister had the ability to put the movement on his back. And I'm of the thought that when the minister separated himself from Waris D. Muhammad, I'm of the thought that he was raw, genuine, and a reflection of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Malcolm X mix, as well as Dr. Khaled. But something happened around the early 90s. I don't know what it was, but something happened. And whatever happened, a shift happened. And anybody that was around paying attention would be able to see it. What I'm asking is, would the NOI thrive post-Farrakhan if one would get in position to ignite the people as Farrakhan once had the people ignited?
Right. So I'm saying that those times have passed. Like, there is no such thing of one person standing up like I'm going to or whatever.
Okay, I got
like,
you.
Like Farrakhan done exhausted that hustle. Like those times are over.
Well, how do you feel about? How do you feel? Oh, I got you, sis, and I'm with you on a lot of that. How do you feel about Farrakhan being? Somebody said in the chat that he called himself the Son of Man. That he. Oh, where you go at? What happened? All right, are you there? Let me make sure you're still there. Hold on. Somebody said in the chat that he called himself the Son of Man. How do you feel about Farrakhan? And I heard people refer to him as the Mahdi. I heard him refer to him as pretty much as the coming, the Christ. That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of people that refer to themselves as whatever, and you don't know. They might believe that's really who they are. Like, he might really believe that, however it's defined or whatever have you. But the point is, I'm of the thought that women are the catalyst, not a man. So historically, he's not even on time because we're going into like a different time now. You know what I mean? History is kind of repeating itself, what they call the feminist movement or whatever the case may be. So you could be Son of Man, but that's not what's needed right now. So you could be that if you want to, but what we need is the feminine energy to take her rightful place. Like, okay, you could be that. It's not affecting the days to come. You understand? Because again, we passed all that. So you could be that if you want to be. It's okay. It don't matter.
So what type of NOI did you envision when you joined? If you could say it in a short combination of words and expression, what were you expecting?
So I expected something similar to, like, the things we learned about the Black Panther Party, how they set up the WIC program, different community organizations, and really getting involved in the community, and maybe possibly, having our own, just like, the messenger talked about. You just, simple living, nothing too major, just living by what we were taught. Because when you do implement just the small things, they don't have to be big and grandiose. No one can tell me that they're wrong. Right. I mean, when you actually implement them, it actually works. Like, it's just like if, you were eating a certain way, and then someone said, well, try to eat this way. If you try it out to see what effects it have, some things might work, Right. So I think that's the problem. Like, people get caught up in, this so-called fake spirituality and things of that nature, but they never really look at the things that matter. And at the end of the day, just be a good person. That's in there too. Like, everything that you can think of, all the life skills is right in them teachings. Like, you just got to pay attention.
We have a brother Black Network that he's been wearing that cape all night for NOI, and I actually applaud him for wearing the cape for NOI. Brother, Black Knight, we're going to go about 15 or 20 more minutes. Would you like to join us? I would love to hear your perspective, because I don't think the sister said anything wrong, anything disrespectful, and I definitely think it has room for the other side of the conversation, because the conversation is a woman experience in the NOI, and I would be wondering, is your experience an observation of the NOI that it's a balanced organizational atmosphere for women? Because I can tell you that
it's not balanced.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That. I can almost guarantee you that most organizations, I can't even go back when it was imbalance, when it was some balance. Most organizations are imbalanced. It is what it is. Yeah. So I would love to hear the other side of that coin. You know what I'm saying? So sis, are you a part of any organized group now that's predicated upon religion, or are you into your personal studies with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, or where are you at now? Where are you now?
So after 2013, that's when I began another type of study, and this study is called Fitra, and that's actually in the Quran. If you read Arabic, you'll know better, But it encompasses everything. It's not, discriminatory. It's not like, we deal with all the sciences,
right?
So, everything is knowledge. There is no discrimination.
So the white man not the devil no more?
The white man. Shoot, you got everybody is the devil.
Elijah Muhammad said the white man the devil, and he can't be reformed. Is he the devil in Fitra?
Well, that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth right there. You're right about that. That is the truth.
He said he can't be reformed. Ain't nothing you can do.
And we see it every day, all day, and that same behavior is in other people too, And
right.
so, in Spike Lee's movie Malcolm X, the flashback to all the white people that was in Malcolm's life that told Malcolm that he wasn't going to be nothing. And there's a part in the movie where the flashbacks go to all the white people that was, in Malcolm's mind that told him he was never going to be or whatever. Do you remember that part in that movie?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So if you bring it down to modern times, right? When I do the same thing, I don't see white folks' face. I see black people's face. Something's wrong with that.
Right.
We need to analyze that.
Right.
Because at some point, black folks decided to drop the ball, when it comes to the backbone, families, and if you have a system or energetically where there's a leader, meaning what we're taught the black man to be the forerunner and to make things happen, the women are the force. So we help in a way of pushing. We do that to everybody. Bossy, we get called bossy and all the negative things, but actually it's good energy because it feeds the will.
Right.
And so women have a very strong role just in society, period, because we were equipped with these things that get things to happen. And so even if you look at the history of these places, the women always played the vital role. So the point being is that if you have an organization that was governed under patriarchy, it's your duty to keep up. You understand? Because there's something else greater that's happening, and it might not be explained or it might look different to other people, but there's an energy that's happening. You just got to pay attention.
See,
so you have to use what's necessary.
Yeah, see, I'm of the thought of true equality. What I mean the true equality is not patriarch, is not matriarch. It's the qualified
Right.
person lead the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when that
Sure.
qualified person is in front, the people protect that qualified person. It doesn't matter, male or female. You know what I'm saying? The qualified person lead the people, and the qualified person should not be selected. Appointed because of gender in no way, shape, or form. And one thing that we have learned from, and I got to agree with you, one thing that we have learned from the last 100 years or more is that the male leadership role has really taken us down a dark tunnel. You know what I mean? As humanity,
Absolutely.
it's taken us
It's
down
not
a
his
dark
turn.
tunnel. And I just think that, see, I have enough confidence in myself to stand beside a sister and say, come on, do your thing. I'm with you, do your thing. And pop, back up off the sister. Go, sis, do your thing. Back up off the sister, do your thing. And I think sometimes the man got to be confident in themselves that their role as a protector is it can supersede the home, and it can go into society, and a woman can lead us to victory if we just fall back sometimes. I'm of that thought totally. But now I don't need no ratchet sister that every time of the month that nature kick in, that she goes super crazy, because she got to be right and exact too now. She got to understand her biological makeup, so she don't let that influence irrational behavior also. So it's a balancing act too for the woman to take us to victory. But I'm with you on that. With people really get into their studies about Islam, Allah is actually a feminine energy. When people really understand what the essence of what that word means and what it's connected to, it's actually a feminine energy, and it's not a masculine energy. Although we always use the term he, it's not when you look into it. But with that being, somebody say a lot. There you go. Levi must know something. So, sis, why don't you lead us to victory?
Well, I am working on it, and it's not necessarily about, like, we have these sayings where, the messenger say he gonna get all his people, and, all these things, this is just part of the culture, There's
Right.
some things that can never be verified, so it's easy to say what somebody said, right? So, and that's fine, but the thing about it is, when you study for yourself and you experience things for yourself, then you can hold a little bit more firm to what things are. And if you just watching how things are, Farrakhan's Nation of Islam does have the capacity to be more of an influence to the sisters, because there are some great sisters there, just period,
Right.
But if they're not given an opportunity to do things, like as more of a whole, or individually for that matter, and then people will never know. They'll just be the idea that, it's more of the so-called Orthodox Islam and whatever. It's just, everything is just so backwards nowadays. Everything's so mixed up. And people don't really know. They don't really know what it's like to be part of anything. So you'll go for anything.
And let me respond. Let me respond to this. Let me respond to Jasmine T first. She says, men have hormonal highs and lows as well. Always reacting in their egos is not an excuse. I agree with you. 1,000%, Jasmine T. The whole thing is about the male, though. Your male counterpart is that he's been able to weave in his imbalances, and they can go undetected, because he's become a master to weaving in his imbalances, and they can go undetected. With the sister have not been in power to really to weave in the biological imbalances, if you will, at that time of the month, so we can really see what it looks like. Men have. But we don't know exactly what it looked like, because men try to ostracize or block sisters from being in that total leadership role. And so we don't know what it looked like. So we assume like, oh, that first of the month. But so we put it out there and we say, well, listen, when you get in balance sometime, you know what I mean? You're going to have to be balanced out with that. But Jasmine is absolutely right about that. And I want to answer another one. Paige says she wants a feminist caliphate. Good luck with that. I don't think that's what it is, brother. I think at the end of the day that everything goes 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Everything goes full circle. And every nation, every people, and every energy have its day in the sun. What do I mean by that? Right. The masculine energy has had its day in the sun. And the sister is saying the sun is setting. But
it's
now
not his turn anymore.
But now on the other side of that sun setting is the dawning of a new day. And now she's saying that it's time for the feminine energy to have its day in the sun.
Right.
That's all she's saying. And history will prove that is not a far-fetched idea. History will prove that every energy, positive and negative, has its day in the sun. Light and day. We deal with night, we deal with day.
Yeah, we're living in a matrix that is governed by polarity. And so again, if you're not studying and paying attention, this is going to sound like crazy talk, foreign language, and that's fine too. But because enough of us don't pay attention, we don't understand that there's actually an agenda to hold back the feminine energy. And I'm not necessarily talking about female. And the reason why I'm not necessarily talking about female, because the energy is not a gender-based thing.
There we go.
Okay?
There we go.
So the bottom line is, if you're paying attention, it's no longer matriarch time.
Right.
It's time for the matriarchal system to step back and the matriarchal system to continue on its path. And it's gonna happen regardless. It's not as if the patriarchal system can hold it back. It's going to happen because nature says it's gonna happen. That's how nature is designed. So it's gonna happen regardless. And how do you know it's gonna happen regardless? Because you see what's going on with the homosexuality culture. You see what's going on with the transgender culture. You see what's going on with this energy. You know what I'm saying? But because there's like a tug of war, maybe, possibly, it's a shift, So you have, gender-based people switching roles and behavior. Like, it's just a whole mix-up. But that's because the system that did not take a step back when they were supposed to didn't take a step back. So basically they threw everything off balance. And that's what we're dealing with now. Everything is an imbalance now.
Hey sis, I'm 1000% with you. And I don't want listen, we get these little terms. Oh, he caping for sisters. I actually have a small pamphlet that I put together. It's called The New Leaders. What is it called? It's something to do with what you're talking about right here. It's actually oh my goodness. I wish I could go pick it up, but no, it's I'll be publishing it soon. But it's actually speaking to what you're talking about, how the universe is, the pendulum is now swinging in the feminine direction right now to lead us up out of this destruction.
Right.
And it's called the divine plan of the ages, ushered in by the feminine energy. And that's a long title, but it's just talking about there's a plan that it's on the divine level that we have nothing to do with this plan.
Yeah.
We got to get in where we fit in. This plan is going to happen whether we like it or not. It's not put together by us. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we can look at the world from 1,000 years, but now the sisters, I don't know how far away our sisters are from that though. And I say in my writing, I don't know how far away sisters are from that, because we still got sisters now that's leading the destructional just alongside of men. When we look at what's popular right now, we're not talking about sisters that like yourself that got it together. When we talking about what's popular right now, we're talking about Sexy Red. We're talking about Cardi B. These are the sisters that has the mind of large number of potential feminine energy that could usher us in to a true liberation. You talk about the Cardi B. I mean, you talk about what's her name? Lotto. You talk about, I mean, it's a whole flock of them. City Girls. It's a flock of them. Then they got these young feminine energies gone nuts.
Right. So now, again, we're past that whole movement and marching and that kind of thing. So now our focus should be on more of the technological piece. We're finished with analog. Okay, we're finished with that. We've been in a digital age for quite some time. And so the objective is to pay more attention to what's happening in the technology world than what's happened necessarily what we would call physically, because this is a spiritual warfare. This has nothing to do with this physical stuff. That's why it's not working anymore.
So someone
everything that we're used to doing is not working anymore. Why? Because we're past that. We on something new. People got to catch up. We on something completely different.
Somebody says, and I like these questions right here. Dion Hunt L said, who leads when she's pregnant for 9 months? And let me answer this, sis, real quick. Who leads when she's pregnant for 9 months? Who leads when she's pregnant for 9 months and have to care for the baby for the first 5 years? Listen, and he has an L on his name, so let me say that this is a Moorish brother. In the Moorish Science Temple of America, we are taught that thought is the cause of everything. The woman can think out the process connected to the universal creator Allah and push the agenda through the physical male specimen if necessary. The feminine energy doesn't necessarily, and Sister Jamillah said it, it doesn't have a physical gender per se at all times. So when we looking at the feminine energy, we're not looking at a sex per se.
Right.
However, many times it will come in the form of a person that is physically born a woman. But that's not the end all be all, and that's not the complete expression. The thoughts can manifest through man. We learned, I don't know what temple the brother is a part of, but in our temple, we teach that man is the thought. That man is not the body, nor the soul, is the spirit and the part of Allah. And so that spirit can move, or that energy, whatever you choose to call that thing, can move, but it must be on the feminine frequency.
Right. Yeah, it has to be.
So I don't know what his Grand Sheik, Hunt L. Grand Sheik, been teaching over there, but tell him give me a call so I can get him right. No, I'm just playing, Hunt L. Islam.
It's okay, because everybody's not there yet. So I liked what you said on another cast. You said it doesn't take a whole bunch of people to do anything. And that is true. It doesn't. That's not the point. And so there goes the teaching of the 144. Like just a whole misunderstanding of what that's really about and things of that nature. Because when your head is in a cloud, you don't have time to deal with what's really happening around you. So it just becomes a trend, a fad. You just going with the motions, but you're not really doing nothing. But if you're being told that you are, that makes somebody feel really good, that I'm really fighting for the, 144 and all this talk. Like,
Paige said, you'll be breastfeeding, brother. Brother Polite that's Brother Polite teachings that men can have babies.
But
and
see,
women
it's
can.
not even about that. It's such a misunderstanding.
No,
It's
that's a
so
joke.
not
That's a
about
joke.
switching roles.
That's a joke.
That's not what it's about.
See, when you talk about true equality, when you speak of true equality, it has nothing to do with speaking roles. It has the one who is qualified to lead, and when the one playing what we think is the supporting role, it's actually a balanced role to make sure that the plan get done. So equal, so everybody is necessary.
Balanced role.
Everybody is necessary. You know what I mean? Everybody is necessary.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you about to break up, I can see it. What do you think? Do you think that sisters would agree with you?
Yeah.
What? Do you think sisters in the NOI will agree with you that the NOI is masculinely imbalanced as it relates to sisters? Do you think they would agree with you? Because they be shining in them pictures. Man, them pictures look good. They be looking good. I'm trying to tell you, the MIT.
They'll agree with me. They'll agree with me.
The MIT, and they be doing the steps. They be getting it in. Yeah, I be seeing them steps. We like, whoa, look at those steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
All that part. And they go.
Belief is a powerful thing.
But I'm just saying, they say we get the step. We get the step next to the FOI. We get to learn how to take care of house and take care of man.
Yeah.
We get to learn how to wash clothes.
And that can.
That
can be very. If it ain't taught right, you could sneak some technology up in there. It's real easy. It's real easy. Very easy.
I just say.
It's a subject that there is no right and wrong necessarily. It's about where did you come from and is this helping you? That's really what it's about.
Right. But outside of Ava Muhammad, I've never seen any woman step out. I mean, I've seen, with all due respect, I've seen Sister Tanetta, Mother Tanetta now, but the main face that you would see, and I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot now. Let's not jump out the window with it. But all of these years, why is that? I mean, is it not promoted?
Well, again, you got someone trying to duplicate something, but at the same time trying to keep up what's working. So historically, Black women have always been the majority when it comes to a Black church, even the societies for that matter. I mean, if you look back at the societies, the Boule societies, like the Links, that was one of the first sorority. And as a matter of fact, Sister Betty Shabazz was part of the Links, but that's a whole nother story. So the point being is that women have always had a platform, a forum to organize and do things. Women have always found a way. It wasn't handed to them, but they always had the drive to do something. So the Black woman being who she is in particular, because that's the only perspective I can go from, because I'm sure there's other different movements as well, but we speaking about Black folks, right? So that's where we gonna stay, right?
Absolutely.
But we have a history as a community of the women stepping up, doing things. I mean, you saw it in the government-driven Black Lives Matter. It was still Black women leading that, and that was a whole lie. I mean, now that we know, you understand? Right. So my point being is that Black women have always had enough will and drive. Do not think she's going to get tired at some point. If she's working in an era that doesn't call for her energy yet, but she got to take over that energy. Why? Take on your turn. Now it's her turn. That's why you see the Me Too's. That's why you see more Black women leading and establishing small businesses. That's why you see that wave, because it's the energy happening right now.
And let me ask you a question: when women are taking their place and positioning themselves, will they look at men and say your time is up, or will they be able to work alongside those men that don't understand the shift is happening? Because if a shift is happening and two parties don't understand it, it becomes more destructive for a while before it becomes productive. So will women be able to understand that everybody don't understand the shift is happening? Because men have a powerful inbred idea, a mentally inbred idea that they are the God. We refer to God as He. We refer to God as Him, and things of that nature. And that's been going on for thousands of years. So, in man being a physical being, and also referred to as he and him, that's a powerful thing that gonna have to be dealt with at some point.
Well, you got a couple of things that's happening. It is my belief that, or my knowledge, I'm not going to use belief, but it's my knowledge that nature is going to continue to do what it needs to do regardless of anything. Okay?
Right.
It could be some kind of man-made technology that tries to, put a hole or put a dent in what's happening in nature, but nature can't be stopped because things have a certain order. Okay?
That's right.
So it's going to happen regardless. Even if you try to build an artificial world over top of it, it doesn't matter. It's going to win regardless.
Right.
So naturally what's been happening, and as we can see with our own eyes, whether it's fake news, real news, the energy is what matters. You have what Cynthia G, once again, I'm a fan of hers. She called it the reckoning of
I think
the
she's
black
reckless,
man.
though. I think she's reckless, though. I think you're making some good points, but I think she's very reckless because she's imbalanced with her attacks or her perception. It's one thing to have, but some of the points that you're making, it makes sense. But one thing I learned about studying people, whether Cynthia G or brothers in the More Science Temple of America, brothers in the NOI that are teachers, is that they make their point with a strong argument, and then everything else hangs upon that. It might not always be right and exact. So Cynthia G, she has a strong, it seemed like it almost disdain at some point for men. And that is imbalanced, destructive, and toxic. However, she do, according to what you quoted to me, make some very good points. But I think with the point that you was about to make, I want to hear that, and then I'll say something else.
So what I'm going to say to that, even if that was the case, she's right in with the time that we're in. So whether or not, people have an opinion that, she's a problem or whatever, it doesn't matter because she's part of the puzzle like we all are. You understand? So if people would look past who it is and she might be hurt and all this irrelevant information, look at the point. You have women that are calling out against men now. No one's being quiet anymore. You just had the thing with Cassie and Diddy. Then you had some other women stepping up. So that reckoning that she's speaking about is the truth because we seeing it. All the head guys are going down. They're being exposed for exploiting women, for sexual, all kinds of stuff. R. Kelly. This is the energy that we're witnessing with our own eyes. So it's obvious that this is happening regardless of what anyone thinks.
And I definitely agree with you, but we can't get to a state of balance until we leave the toxic part out. and we can't get to a state of balance, even if this is a part of it. There's life after death. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So even if this is a part of it, this is not the part of it that says that we have arrived. I think we got a long way to go because it's too much. Right. It's too much toxic stuff that goes along with the concern. And then we got to look at this age where you can monetize your anger. You can monetize your disdain. You can monetize your personality. And so in between, it's something that I call on Morse World TV. I call it a filler show. A filler show is a show where I got these ideas for a show, but it's not fully developed yet. It's some research that I've done. It's not fully developed yet, but I say, okay, let's do it right here because I got other things that I'm looking into that I haven't developed yet, and it's called a filler show. And that's why I call this is a show because I want to teach within a show forum. But when you can monetize anger, you can monetize disdain. We have to be very careful to say, okay, this is a part of the process because some of it is just being monetized too. And so that's why it's a lot of toxic stuff is going on. And so, and I just think we got a long ways to go. I think in order to get where we need to go, we need noble women with balance, not imbalance, where everything is the man's fault. Everything is the man's fault. Yeah, woman got to say, we need to do this. It shouldn't be a man and say, well, the woman did this and the woman did this and that's why the man did that. The woman also got to say, this is the problem with the man and this is the problem with us. And when we'll be able to do that, when the woman able to do that, when Cynthia G is able to say, this is what the black man has done. This is what they do. They do this, they do that, do that. And this is what we need to do. You see what I'm saying? That's when we might be going somewhere with it. That's when we might be going somewhere with it.
I can agree with, again, no one's wrong. That's the issue. The issue is I'm right, they're wrong. That's not, again, that time is over.
I'm talking about fixing and getting to a balanced place. To get into a balanced place, everyone must take responsibility.
Right, I was getting there.
There you go, sis. Got you.
I was talking about self-accountability. Everyone needs to be accountable for what they do, their contribution, or whatever the case may be. That's what I hear more, and I'm not trying to make this about Cynthia G, but that's what I hear. She gets on. She's the one that coined black male worshipers because, again, the point is we have those kind of women that have been taught by men, and men giving them the idea that women are only for men. That's their only purpose in life. And so when you have that situation, you create this black male worshiper. And to be honest, they like the gatekeepers, like the boule. You know what I'm saying? The black male worshipers, they a dangerous pack. I've been up against them for a very long time. I used to be one. That's the scary part. You got levels to this. It's not just one level. And so you have the gatekeepers guarding something, just like you have the gatekeepers in a larger situation that's guarding something. You have them at the most minuscule level. So the objective is to chop all that down. Like we not even nowhere near there because we got to expose the fraud.
Everybody say, look,
I agree.
It seems like everybody say they was with you, they was riding with you until you kept drop bombs with Cynthia G. They said they were with you. We was all good talking about Farrakhan. We was all good talking, but when you keep dropping Cynthia G, because Cynthia G is very one-sided toxic. She is very one-sided.
Excellent point.
Really I think she makes her excellent point. Now, let me get on my soapbox. I think she makes her excellent points to sisters who've been battered, bruised, and scarred. You know what I'm saying? She makes very excellent points for sisters who've been battered, bruised, and scarred. But that is only a small... What I'm saying is, see, that's a problem. That's the only small demographic of an audience that will entertain that. Many sisters have moved on beyond that, and they don't put themselves in the space where they can be continued battered, bruised, and scarred. So what happens is Cynthia G would put out issues that sisters can relate to, and they can relive it. In the More Science Temple, we call that breeding. They breed these things. In other words, the thought just keep going on. And once Cynthia G can keep reminding you, it just breeds and breeds and breeds and breeds. The smart, intelligent, noble sisters look at what they experience. They start from the first point and say, man, I'm bad. I'm past that. That cannot even entertain my soul no more, because I know that I have risen above that, and my equal is not that. So that is behind me now. And sisters, and on the flip side for brothers too. Brothers like to breed certain behavior. The dope dealer behavior. Boy, I used to get money. I mean, they breed it. They reminisce it on it. It's like a dog in a bone. They keep on digging it up, and ain't no more meat on the bone, but they keep digging it up and licking and remember what used to be there. And that's what I mean. Like, we're so far off the mark because we will massage our mind with things that used to be. And we'll reminisce on things that has broken us. But once we become fixed, those things will no longer entertain us.
Well, I'm sure at some point it'll get there. Not saying that it'll be in my lifetime, your lifetime, or whoever's lifetime. The bottom line is, you have a people that continues to gripe and play the victim of a situation that they actually had a hand in developing. So when you have those kind of ills that are permeating the illusionary world or the matrix, some people call it that. When you have those situations, nature's going to take its course.
I agree with you 1,000% right there. Ain't nothing we can do when the universe is spinning in the direction where it's supposed to go. It's just going that way.
Right. And what we can do, just like you doing, exposing the frauds that only live on this plane, you know, they don't know about nothing else. They just know about the ego and, you know, being important and people saying who they are, they're great people and all that. Nature's going to deal with them too. But that doesn't stop you as an individual being part of this whole, what they call ecosystem, from doing your part.
Absolutely.
Because that's what you got to deal with. So if you exposing people, if you, what they call whistleblowing and all these little stupid terms to get people to, you know, do this, right? You know, that's that symbol, you know, that they done corrupted. Like, it's just so much that you need to know in order to be part of it. Like, if you don't know certain things, you really can't be part of it. You either gonna go down with it or you're gonna learn something and shut up when somebody got some information you might not have heard of, but they got the information. So regardless of what denomination, sect, person they say they follow, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, do they got the knowledge to help us move this thing forward?
Sister,
you know, like, that's what it's about.
Would you be willing to be the second in law for the FOI, brother? I'm just saying.
You know, it's so funny because...
Was you the second in law before? Let me find out.
Look, nothing about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings is what people think it is. It's just that simple. It's not, doesn't even come close to what people think it's about.
Well, I can tell you this, that I've studied every book, everything that I could get my hands on. And I think I can agree with you that a lot of people have missed the mark. A lot of people have missed the mark.
But that's how you know it's supposed to happen that way. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're really decoding stuff and you got other knowledge other than who you're told to listen to, who you're told to study, you know, that kind of behavior is silly to me. And I didn't realize how silly it was because nobody else can dictate what's good for you.
Hold on. Paige coming for me. Paige said, GS, you doing a whole lot of agreeing with this Cynthia fan. No, listen, Valley. If she quotes Cynthia G, and the quote is right and exact, I'm not going to disagree just because Cynthia G is super toxic. If that quote is right and exact, I got to agree with the quote. You know,
That part.
they say I'm
That's what I'm
caping.
talking about.
I'm caping,
Where
Paige. I'm
people
caping.
are.
Hey,
Right.
hey,
That's
come
what
on,
I'm
cape.
talking about. We focused
Man, I
on
love my
me.
Moshwell TV citizens. Thank you, Paige. What you say, sis?
But see, we focusing on me acknowledging something Cynthia G said to be something I agreed with. We focused on the person Cynthia G. We not even focusing on what she's actually saying. And so we get caught up in dealing with personalities and I don't agree with her and
No, I just
everybody got some wisdom. Everybody got
only
some
thing
wisdom.
I'm saying is true wisdom is never one-sided. True wisdom is never one-sided. When you have something it's like me being a Moorish American, right? I'm open to listen to anybody, but I will defend what I stand for by intellectually. You know what I mean? I would defend it. You know what I mean? Intellectually. You know what I mean? With knowledge-based proof, I would defend it. Right. However, when somebody talk, I will also look for the unity that agrees with the concept of what I know to be true. Because truth is but one. Truth is universal. So when one like a Cynthia G, for example, I want to turn this to a Cynthia G conversation, is imbalanced, that means that she's imbalanced in some way. And let me tell you something. A broke clock is right once a day. You know what I'm saying? But if a person is one-sided and completely one-sided, that's not a wise person. They can't be. It's impossible for them to be a wise person. That's a person that has knowledge, but they don't have wisdom. Because a wise person know the balance, know the mayat, and they would express that. And so that's where I'm at with it. So I don't want to turn this to a Cynthia G conversation unless we bring Cynthia G on here to defend herself.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But sis, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? Because I want to talk to you. The next thing I want to talk to you about, you're going to be a staple on the show. The next thing I want to talk to you about when I talk about truth is but one, Allah is one, the universal principle is one. You was talking about what you follow now. I would love to hear some of that and teach us. No debate. No debate. I would never debate. I only debate people that come for me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what I teach is, my personal way of teaching is that our people never looked at somebody else's belief and critiqued it and criticized it unless it came in a harmful way. Do you see what I'm saying? When we came upon different things, we wanted some insight about it. So on the plains of Africa, if you will, if we seen somebody with a plate in their lip, we didn't laugh at it or ridicule it. We wanted to know the science behind it. If we see some scribbling on the walls and we just thought it was just scribble, we wanted to try to figure out what that was. And so that's the same way I try to move. That if someone say I study E5, someone say I study kinetic science, someone say I study this, I study that, I want to hear it, because I think that there is, as in the words of the good brother Jesus, in my Father's house there's many mansions. You follow what I'm saying? And so you may be in possession of one of the mansions, and someone could maybe save themselves from this crazy influential world that is going down the tubes. You feel what I'm saying? So I would love to invite you on. If you feel comfortable with it, I will not debate you. I will only allow you to give a platform, because I think before the Cynthia G statement, I said this is the ear she on one. But now I'm just playing. We all got our what they call it, our guilty pleasures. Mine is Kodak, listening to Kodak Black. I'm tell you right now, mine listening to Kodak Black and listen to Finesse 2 Times and Charleston White. I'm going to tell you right now. Y'all know Charleston White just got beat up. Oh, man, I felt sad. He got beat up on stage. He got beat up. But that's my guilty pleasure. But anyway, sis, what do you think about that? Would you like to do that one day?
Oh, I mean, like I said, everybody plays a role in everything. So if this is something that you're asking me, sure, why not? Because maybe that's my role.
Yeah, because I think, man, I would see one thing about Cool Hines says white girl is mine. Come on, man, with that trolling. One thing for sure is that it's the sad part about our people that we think that we are one people and we always believed one thing. No, we are one people, but we believed many things. We have faith in many things, and we have confidence in many things. And as the words that you put, we have knowledge of many things in our ancient times. Many of us just speak one language, English for the most part. But before this enslavement, we spoke many languages and many dialects. We could travel across the globe and communicate with anybody. Today, we stuck with English. So we knew many things before the transatlantic slave in the Arab slave trade. You know what I'm saying? We knew many things. And so I believe that if we touch the most center part of our being with someone who is knowledgeable of maybe an inkling of one of those things, that might can help somebody. Because I mean, it got to beat that stuff that we've been accepting lately. It got to beat it. It got to. You feel me? Yeah. Shoot, that stuff we've been accepting lately is crazy.
Again, you have to deal with, you have to understand it's not about what the people think and, all the things that we're taught with marketing and all that kind of stuff. That's like earthly things, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, to really know where this thing, I guess we're calling it liberation, is going, we have to think higher. Because what we're dealing with is more than we can even understand. But everybody has a foundation. So my foundation is in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Honestly, I had no control over that. That's what I was surrounded by. And so if you're thinking higher, then you understand that certain things are for certain people. So where I'm at, that's where I'm at, where somebody at. But that doesn't mean that it's necessary that it has to happen that way.
Right.
And so that knocks down all the prejudices and things of that nature that we have with one another, and that we're bickering over my faith, my Islam is right, this Islam is right, and all the terminologies we don't know anything about, or we haven't remembered what any of it was about. We're just going based on the conditionings that we've been taught. And we're only role playing what we've been taught.
And I definitely agree. And that's why I educate myself thoroughly on everything that I involve myself in. I educate myself thoroughly where I dig till I can't dig no more. And every time I teach, I refresh myself. You know what I'm saying? I taught a class today, and I didn't dig up an old lesson. I remember the lesson, but I put together a new lesson with new information or the latest information that has been discovered. Because I want to be right and exact. I'm tell you off the break. I want to be right and exact. Salvation is personal. But let me ask you again. Is the white man the devil? Did Yaqub create the white man by playing with some magnets?
It's bigger than any of that.
I'm only asking.
Look, all I can say is stories help people understand different logic.
Where can we find the tribe of Shabazz?
I don't think you'll be able to find any of that, to be honest. You're not going to find what
so all of this is. So is all of this symbolism? Can you break that down to it? Is it symbolism?
I think it's all symbolic, all allegorical.
So even the big-head scientist is symbolic. The name Shabazz that Malcolm took to the grave is also symbolic. So ain't no real tribe called Shabazz like the tribe of the, or is it?
Everything is symbolic.
Sister. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you, sis. Hey.
None of it is literal. Not one iota is literal.
Woo!
It's all allegorical.
How about the minister going into the mother plane and talking to Master Farrakhan Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? He said he had a real conversation. He didn't say that was allegory. He said he was taken up.
Oh yeah, and like I said before, You gotta let
sis
people
be having
believe what they want to believe nowadays.
sis be having a silencer. Pew, pew,
I mean, if that's what he want to believe that happened, then allow him to believe whatever happened. We believe a whole bunch of things, don't we? I mean, who cares?
Sis because I know
Like,
the NOI
how was
brother gonna be
that
mad at
healthy?
me. The NOI brother gonna be mad at me. Why you always coming? I know Malcolm flexing like, why you always coming for the minister? We just have a conversation, Malcolm.
I mean, who really cares, to be honest?
I'm gonna smack you like Tariq did. they get mad at me. But nah, let me take a set out. All right, listen, you got the tribes bass, we got the all right. Did somebody bomb the earth and the moon split away?
Crazy. So let me just say this, because
I need to know these things.
My experience as a woman in Islam, right?
No, that we done with that. We done with that. You knocked that out the park. We about to close and shut it down. I just want to know, did somebody put the bomb in the earth and the moon was pushed that way and the earth was this way? Is how that work?
So the question is the moon real? The moon that we identify as the moon?
I don't know. I'm just taking it for face value. That the old scientists put a bomb in the moon and the earth was together. They put a bomb in that demonstration. Boom! Detonated, and the moon shot out there.
Yeah, but it kind of remind me of that. It's a cartoon with that little black alien with the green hat. He on the moon and he just
that's how I did like that.
Like that. Boom! He got the dynamite there. He just blowing up stuff. Yeah,
boom.
That's what that is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
I'm just asking.
Still don't matter. It still ain't getting nobody no further. It don't.
Hey, sis, I'm gonna tell you, Sister Jamillah. Now, no disrespect to people's belief system. I just think that's kind of funny sometimes. But you know, that's one thing that my wife said about some of the things that Moors ask me, and I teach on. My wife would say, "Now, how does that help us today?"
It don't.
Not that, but we have the same type of thing going on sometimes. How did that help us today?
To be honest, our job is to figure out what matters and what don't. And I agree. There's certain topics that within that topic, it may be something you get out of it personally. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, everybody know if something is suspect or not. Your body just tell you something's not right about that.
I got one more question when you finish.
Go ahead.
Is Master Farrakhan Muhammad that come from Arabia, his mother named Bobby?
He say Bobby. Tahaka, do you know how many stories?
I'm just asking. Sis, they said the lady named Bobby.
Bobby. Wow, it changed that much?
Oh, Baby Joe. What was it, Baby Joe?
The lessons say Baby G.
Baby G from Saudi Arabia.
I don't think this particular one. I think this one was actually from the States.
Baby G was from the States?
Not according to the lessons, but according to documents. Yeah, she was actually from the States, I believe. Wait a minute. So Master Farrakhan Muhammad, mother Bobby G, is from the United States? No, this is what I'm saying to you. The story is what you think the story is. You know, Alfonso being a jet black.
Alfonso is from Arabia too?
Really? Oh, wow.
No, there is an Alfonso. They call each other Alfonso in Saudi Arabia? Oh, that's his American name.
That's the name we were given as Master Farrakhan Muhammad's father, Alfonso.
No. What I'm saying is, for thousands of years in Saudi Arabia, is it Alfonso or is it
like ALPHONSO? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Hold up, sis.
Yeah.
Stop.
I'm surprised you don't know this part of the history.
No. Sis, I know something. That's why I'm asking a question. Mm-hmm. What I'm asking is Was there Muslims named Alfonso in 1920 in Saudi Arabia? Alfonso Akbar.
That part, I don't know. Listen,
No, I'm just saying. So we got Baby G. Is that's it right?
Yeah.
And Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
And they birthed God.
Allah and the person of Master
Allah and the
Muhammad.
person of Master Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Good
night.
night.
But it's really not that. It's not necessarily.
Sis, won't you break this down to us? So we can, because they gonna think I'm trolling, sis. You gotta help me. Pull me out this month, sis. Pull me out.
So listen, remember when I said everything is allegorical? Nothing
Absolutely.
is what we think it is. So if I'm saying that, apparently the whole story and birth of Master Muhammad is not what people think it is.
Good night.
The mother and the father is not necessarily the mother and the father. It's all allegorical. It's symbolism. It's all symbolic. It has nothing to do with people think it has to do with. It doesn't.
You about to crack the code, sis. Stop. You're going to crack the code.
It's useful on that level. It is. But as you can see, historically, after 75, nothing has happened with it. You can see that with your own eyes. Nothing has happened with it. And we can all believe that what Farrakhan is doing is a duplicate or whatever. Okay, believe what you want to believe, but at the end of the day, everybody know that it's two different movements. Everybody know that. That's just obvious. It's two different movements. And that's okay. It can be. But because it's not about one organization or one person moving this thing forward. It's not even about that. That's why it's like we're stagnant now. Nothing is going anywhere. But little things is happening that's going to lead up to something larger, but it might not be in our lifetime. I don't know. All I'm saying is that one man show, them days been over.
Can you come back and break down that science for us though? We need to know this symbolism. Because it sound like Elijah Muhammad was a master mason, because masons use a lot of symbolism. Let me leave sis alone. Hey sis, thank you so much. And I hope you don't take my my joke in the wrong way. You're good. I really enjoy this conversation, and I can't wait for our next conversation. I look forward for our next conversation, whatever it may be, because I like the flow of our conversation. I think this brings good conversation. But now you gotta let me know if they come for you, because I'm gonna let you know if they coming for me. I didn't
say anything anyone don't know already.
Yeah, but it don't matter, boy. They get real temperamental. You can say Farrakhan name wrong, and they get temperamental on you. I mean, not everybody, you know what I mean, but some of them, like it's good that a lot of true seasoned FOI, they actually know me by now. Yeah. And they've known me for years, and they know that I am going to research, I'm going to do interviews, and I'm going to ask questions, I'm going to joke, and this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, if they know me, they know my heart, that if something works for you and it fixes you, then carry on with that. But that don't leave you guarded from scrutiny. That don't leave you guarded from jokes.
There is no protection.
And there is none for me either. You know what I mean? They can still say that I wear a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket on my head, and they can still say Noble Drew Ali is not this, that, and the third. And I'm just going to say, let's have a conversation and let's see about it. And so it goes both ways. So I hope nobody gets offended when we have these conversations about people that was in your life and had the ability to save your life from destruction. Because I don't mean harm in any type of way. Anything you want to say in closing, sis?
No, I'm just looking forward to coming back.
Sis, keep it simple. She got sis got one of them little Derringer guns. Them little, you don't need to see it coming. Pew!
Right.
Pow! Like, somebody shot me. You think a mosquito bit you, and you sit there just bleeding out internally.
I mean, I just wanted to say that things are not always what they seem to be. Everything that we've learned, maybe it is not really what we think it is. And when you want to explore and find out, then it leaves you open with no prejudice, because we dealing with something so sinister we can't even wrap our brains around what we're dealing with. And it's not a script out of a movie or anything. It may be because we were conditioned to think like that. But
Absolutely.
the rabbit hole goes deep. Trust, it goes deep. It definitely
Absolutely. So I'm looking for the next time. It's 12:35 on the East Coast, 12:35
Okay.
a.m. on the East Coast. I got to get myself together to get some things done for tomorrow.
All
But
right, no
sister,
worries.
so what you say the school of thought you in now? What the name of it?
It's called Fitra.
Fitra. So is it an Islamic circle, or what is?
No, it's Fitra. If you know Arabic, you'll see it in the Quran over and over again.
But
It's
that's what I'm
called
saying.
Fitra.
Is it an Islamic organization, or is it African?
It's
with
not an
African?
organization.
I'm being school of thought. Let me say school of thought.
Oh, it's really more about all the sciences, everything that the sciences
Who founded it?
encompass.
Are we
That's
gonna?
a loaded question. We don't have time for that.
No.
It's a loaded
All right.
question.
So get it together. We want to know about it. Look, I see Levi right now. Fitra. This is very interesting, because this may be a path that somebody else might seek. And I appreciate you,
Yeah.
sis. I say no more, and that's
Okay.
it. I appreciate you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Peace, sis. Till next time.
Bye.
I'm going to text you and let you know where our next date. We getting busy. All right?
Okay, no problem. Yep.
All right. Peace. That's it. All right. That's it. That was a good conversation. I don't care what y'all say about that. You know what I mean, that's a good conversation. You follow me? Was that a good sister? Was that a good conversation? Huh? Anyway, with that being said, anybody that want to have a conversation about anything that we said or anything that I've said before, you're welcome. Email me at morseworldtvupdates@gmail.com or tahakabay@gmail.com, and we can get the conversation started. I'm tired now. Sis gives a nice conversation. I can't wait to bring my wife on here. I got to get my wife on here to talk about the Moors now. That's right. I got to get my wife on here to talk about these crazy Moors. She might throw me under the bus. I be sitting up there with my fingers crossed. She better not say nothing. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. All right, we're going to commercial break. Shooter with the soft elbow. Be quiet. Nah, not that story. You're going to. Let her get on here and talk about Cynthia G. Shoot. But male control. That's right. Ain't no phones or nothing, TV, nothing in this house. Nothing. To come here and talk about some Cynthia G. It's over. That's right. But shout out to Jasmine T for hanging out with us. Brother Page, definitely Levi, and all the new subscribers. Are y'all any new subscribers in here? If you're not a new subscriber, then go on subscribe and be a new subscriber. Become a Morse World TV citizen. Hang out with us, you know what I'm saying? As we expose the frauds and I told y'all we're going to do a lot of interviews this winter. And that's one thing I wanted to get back into. I said that before we shut down, before the fall. I said we're going to get to a lot of interviews this winter. I think the next interview that I'm going to bring up is my brother, Dr. Dennis, and we're going to talk about these, again, this feminine energy that's gone toxic on the internet. You know what I mean? I think that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the mentality of the feminine energy that has gone toxic. And I'm bringing Dr. Asar up in here, because whether y'all like it or not, whether the sisters like it or not, there is a toxic feminine energy that then gone toxic and is unnecessary. You know what I mean? How did it get like that? And we're going to talk about that, the mentality. I think that's going to be a good conversation. You know what I mean? He said, hey, they convinced them that we live on a ball. Let me see. I can't even see the comment. He said, they convinced us that we live on a ball. I would debate somebody about that. You know what I mean? Nobody convinced me of anything. I think it's actually physics. But would you like to come on the show and talk about flat earth? Like one thing about me, I don't like people. I ain't gonna say I don't like. He said, how they convince us that we live on that ball you got, GS. Listen, at the end of the day, I am willing to have a conversation. Would you like to come on here and talk about flat earth? Now, you can't come on here if you that crazy flat earther guy. If you buying a hidden account, Cool Hines, and you that crazy flat earther guy, who know the crazy flat earther? Who is he? What's his name? Anybody know who I'm talking about? Is one that has he done drained the swamp talking about flat earth. You know what I mean? He done drained the swamp. I forget his name. I'm glad I forgot his name. I mean, he went for years getting thousands and thousands of views. I mean, he made it a religion. I was like, my God, and if you him, you ain't coming on here. Brother Sanchez, if you Sanchez, you ain't coming on here with that stuff. But if you got new ideas, new concepts, you can come on in, brother. But Sanchez, oh no, he didn't milk that thing. Oh my God, he milked that thing. He milked that flat earth conversation till he can't milk it no more. After he milked it, he began to start talking about like he exposing people. He couldn't milk it no more. And then he go back to, he milked that. Oh, my, I can't say it enough. Nah, I hope you ain't Sanchez. If you Sanchez, I pass. You win. The earth is what you wanted to be, flat. Okay, you win. You got it. In fact, this ain't nothing here but a basketball with pictures on it. That's all this is. It's a basketball with pictures on it. That's all it is. Pay me no mind. You know what I mean? Pay me no mind. I'm talking about, please, just don't pay me no mind. That's all this is. My son like basketball with pictures on it. It really helps him in his dribble. With that being said, family, I'm about here. Appreciate you. I gotta go.
Check 1, 2. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the fraud. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the fraud. It's time for us to go hard.
Come on.
It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard.
Come on.
It's time to expose the fraud.
Come on.
It's time for us to go hard. First of all, let me welcome y'all to Moorish World TV. Come on, it's time to go. Ain't nobody going to deceive me.
The Sanchez got destroyed.
Never on my watch. Time to cook, pull out the pot, turn up the heat, let's make it hot. Don't be tripping on them frauds when you're rolling with the guard. Made Crips, Sonny, Boxing, Apple X, and Sean. Yasmin and the Queen got Sean from the Shy, Candy Chamber, Ishmael Bay, and Sin Soon. Anybody they can get it if they gripping on the fam. Moorish World TV, investigating all scams. Gon' check my record and please don't front. Come on, keep it a buck. I ain't been wrong once. From Sinetta and Polite and Tatar Street Bay, Malik, Zulu, Shabazz, and Grandmaster J. Word to God to all the frauds. I brought them to their knees, but they ain't nothing. Watch how I do to Tariq Allah Nasheed. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I'm your host, Brother Taharka Bay. Let's get on these frauds' neck and let's shut them down. Let's go. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. That's right, let everybody know what's going down. Moorish World TV, we gon' shut it down. Share this to these 2 platforms. Thumbs up. The show starts now.